Hey everyone, Linus here. Let's talk about Windows. It's the OS that's been around forever. And it all started back in 1985 with Windows 1.0. Now, this wasn't the sleek, user-friendly experience we know today. It was more like, hey, we're trying this graphical thing, it's kinda janky, but hey, it's a start. Windows 1.0 was Microsoft's first attempt at a graphical user interface for PCs. Before this, it was all command lines, which, let's be honest, wasn't very user-friendly. This was a big deal. It introduced things like Windows icons and a mouse. Revolutionary stuff for the time, but it wasn't perfect. Not even close. It was slow, limited, and applications were pretty basic. But hey, you gotta start somewhere, right? Windows 1.0 laid the groundwork for what would become the most popular operating system in the world. It showed that people were ready for a more visual way to interact with their computers, and that, my friends, was a pretty big deal. Fast forward a couple of years, and we got Windows 2 in 1987. This was a noticeable improvement over its predecessor. It introduced overlapping windows, which, believe it or not, was a big deal back then. Windows 2 also brought expanded memory support. This meant you could run more powerful applications and multitask a bit better. Still a far cry from what we have today, but hey, progress. One of the key things about Windows 2 was that it started to attract developers. More software started being made specifically for Windows, which made it more appealing to users. This was a crucial step in establishing Windows as a serious player in the OS market. Now, this is where things started to get interesting. Windows 3.1, released in 1992, was a massive hit. It was faster, more stable, and had a much improved user interface. This was the version that really put Windows on the map. Windows 3.1 introduced things like TrueType fonts, which made everything look so much better. It also had better multimedia support, so you could actually enjoy things like sound and video on your PC. But perhaps the biggest thing about Windows 3.1 was its widespread adoption. Businesses loved it, home users loved it, and it quickly became the de facto standard for PCs. This was a major turning point for Microsoft and for the entire PC industry. Hold on to your hats, folks, because Windows 95 was a game changer. Released in, you guessed it, 1995, this was a massive leap forward for Windows. It introduced the Start menu, the taskbar, and the iconic Start button. Sound familiar? Windows 95 also brought us plug-and-play support, which meant you could actually install hardware without wanting to pull your hair out. This was huge for making PCs more accessible to everyday users. The internet was also starting to take off, and Windows 95 integrated it right into the OS. This was a pivotal moment as it paved the way for the internet-connected world we live in today. Section 5. Windows XP, Stability and Security. After a few iterations of Windows 95, Windows 98, and Windows Me, Microsoft released Windows XP in 2001. This was a rock-solid operating system that focused on stability and security. Windows XP was a huge success, becoming one of the most beloved versions of Windows ever. It introduced a redesigned interface, better hardware support, and improved performance. It was also more secure than previous versions, which was becoming increasingly important as more and more people were connecting to the internet. Section 6. Windows Vista, a stumble in the road. Okay, not every version of Windows can be a winner. Windows Vista, released in 2006, was met with mixed reactions, to put it mildly. It had some cool new features like the Aero Glass interface, but it was also resource-heavy, buggy, and had some questionable design choices. Vista was a bit of a stumble for Microsoft, but hey, even the best of us make mistakes, right? Section 7. Windows 7, Redemption and Refinement. Microsoft learned from its mistakes with Vista, and came back strong with Windows 7 in 2009. This was a refined, polished version of Windows that addressed many of the issues people had with Vista. It was faster, more stable, and just worked better overall. Windows 7 was a huge hit and is still fondly remembered by many users today. Section 8. Windows 10, the Service Era. In 2015, Microsoft released Windows 10, and it marked a significant shift in how Windows operates. Windows 10 is considered a service, meaning it receives continuous updates and new features. It brought back the Start menu, yay, introduced the Cortana voice assistant, and focused heavily on cloud integration. Windows 10 is still going strong today, and is used by millions of people worldwide. Section 9. Windows 11. A modern makeover. The latest chapter in the Windows saga is Windows 11, released in 2021. This version is all about a fresh modern look and feel. It features a redesigned start menu, rounded corners, and a more Mac-like aesthetic. Windows 11 also includes performance improvements, better gaming features, and tighter integration with Microsoft's cloud services. So there you have it, a quick trip down memory lane looking at the evolution of Windows. From its humble beginnings to the sleek, modern operating system it is today, Windows has come a long way. It's a testament to Microsoft's ability to adapt, innovate, and most importantly, listen to its users. Who knows what the future holds for Windows, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be an exciting ride.